no sustainable political end game. Well, that is the view from Washington. What is the view from Moscow of someone who is a loyalist to Vladimir Putin? I've been speaking to Maria Butina, who's a member of the State Duma. She is a Putin loyalist who makes social media propaganda videos backing the war. And she was jailed when she was in the United States for conspiring to infiltrate political organisations, including the National Rifle Association. I began by asking her whether the war was going to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. I do trust my president as well as the majority of Russians do. As you probably know, I voted for the independence of LNR and DNR, so the Donbas region. And also we see now that the Russians, they support the special operation, so more than 70%. And also they support the actions of the parliament, which has never been as high as it is today in the history. It's about 45%. So, and Russians and me, we do trust the president and believe that everything goes as planned.
Just explain to me, why won't Vladimir Putin call it what it is, a war against Ukraine? Why do you call it a special operation?
Well, because of the purposes. So we have been warning the world that the Nazi mood and the Nazi actions in Ukraine is rising for actually many years. It took us 8 years to try to convince them that you cannot attack their civilian population, Russian-speaking population on Donbas region. And just you can't do things like banning languages or discriminating people by their race and nation.
Do you think President Zelensky is a Nazi?
Well, according to his actions, absolutely.
He's Jewish. His great-grandfather died fighting the Nazis as part of Russia. I put it to you again that he's a bit of an unlikely Nazi.
You know, I do believe that Nazism is not about just one nation. It's about killing, murdering, torturing any nation based upon their race, their gender, their nationality, their country of origin, and what we see today.
So is Vladimir Putin a Nazi because he is currently bombing civilians in cities all over Ukraine? By your definition, is he a Nazi?
Russia is not bombing civilians. Russian military troops actually are having humanitarian corridors.
Just pause, Maria Butina, because people may be a bit surprised. I am watching images. Have you seen them, I wonder, of Mariupol, a city that has been almost flattened, in which people, young, old and disabled, are being directly hit by shells fired by the Russian military? Are you seriously claiming that they are not under attack from Russia?
You know, I want to seriously see the evidence that these are Russians. And as much as we know, and me personally in my region, we help people evacuated from Donbas. And we do have...
Hold on. No. Are you suggesting that the shells that are flattening Ukrainian cities are being fired by Ukrainians?
I hope not. I hope no one in the world can bomb their own population. Well, I don't want to believe in that, as well as I don't want to believe that somebody can torture an Orthodox priest. But I talk to these people, many of them, it's unnormal.
Maria Butina, what evidence have you got to suggest that millions of people are fleeing their own cities, that thousands are dying because a country's bombing its own citizens? It's preposterous.
Well, as much as we see, we create humanitarian corridors. We actually
That wasn't the question. I asked you, who fires the bombs, who fires the missiles that is killing Ukrainian citizens and forcing millions to flee?
We have tons of evidence. Russian army does not touch. They do not bomb civilian population. Absolutely not.
What?
This is not the purpose.
Where's the evidence?
In the operation.
What is the evidence?
We cannot prove the things like this because we just don't do it.
You just said you had evidence. What's the evidence?
We don't do because Russians just don't do it.
Russians don't do it, I see, other than in countries like Syria, other than Chechnya, other than in Ukraine today. Have you watched Western media reporting of what is happening in Ukraine, or do you just simply dismiss it as fake news?
That's why I was one of the authors of the law against fake news in Russia. And I'm proud of this because I do believe that people should know the truth, only the official information. I do read a lot of Western news, and I'm able to do it, as you probably see. You know, sometimes...
Are you saying that anything that is not the official information approved by the Kremlin is fake news? Is that your contention?
Don't take my words like this.
No, I'm
I didn't
asking
say
you.
it like anybody. I'm talking about official and proven information, which I believe people deserve to know, especially in the times of instability.
Why are millions of people choosing to head west to Western Europe rather than choosing to head north to Russia?
Well, this is the choice. You know, everybody decides by himself. I know that Europe takes a lot of refugees from Ukraine, and God bless them for doing this. This is, well, any military operation, of course, nobody wants civilians to get hurt. So if they decide to go west, this is their right. But Russian corridors are open, and we do give them support as much as we can, like humanitarian support, and would appreciate if Ukrainian troops wouldn't stop it, because just civilians they should be, out of the game. They don't serve in military, and they should be able to evacuate if they want.
I'm very puzzled by this conversation. I'm going to take as sincere your desire to help and protect people who find themselves persecuted. But how can you utter the sentence, no one wants civilians to get hurt? I was in a peaceful city just a matter of days ago, and your president has chosen to bomb cities all over the country of Ukraine, and to force millions of people from their home. What on earth does the sentence, no one wants civilians to be hurt, mean in Moscow?
First of all, Russian troops, they do not bomb civilian population.
They do.
And second, let me tell you, for 8 years, these people, not all the Ukrainians, but the Nazi part, they were actually killing people on Donbas region.
What percentage did the far-right party get in eastern Ukraine?
Well, let me give you certain examples.
Well, let's answer the question. It was 2%. 2% was the polling. Wow. So nobody doubts there were neo-Nazis, but you're asserting that they're all Nazis. It's nonsense. How does this war end?
I believe that Ukraine should have a right to choose Ukrainians by themselves, a legitimate power, legitimate leaders that they would like to have, but they should be demilitarized. There should be no military tensions like we have today, and it should be denazilized, which means they should not have Nazi people in the government.
So they should choose their own leaders once you've bombed their people and millions of them have left the country. Maria Butina, thank you very much indeed for joining us from Moscow this morning.